being here. Check the chat window for a Spotify playlist. And it is noon. I like to get started on time, so let's get rolling. I might be coming up to the screen and admitting more folks as we get going here, but let's start. So again, for equipment today, a light set of weights, a yoga ball if you have one, and then if you can grab a chair, I'd like to use it as our bar, but also use the seat of the chair. If you don't have any of that equipment, don't worry about it, we'll modify. Grab some water, and then head over to Spotify if you want to use the playlist that I prepared for today. As always, your own music is fine, no music, whatever you want to do. But head over to Spotify, make sure you have your shuffle turned off, and I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, play. And Believer is our first song, so here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. All right, and you're not hearing that on my end. I have it in my ear. We're going to grab our ball for our warm-up today, and let's start with a little grapevine across your mat, using that ball to touch the sole of your foot as it kicks up behind you each time you make it to one end of the mat and then the other. Keep moving just like that. Got another friend joining us here. Just get that heart rate up, get those muscles used to moving, warm everything up a little bit, and we'll get into lots of fun sequences today. So this is the last week of April, and we've been doing a glutes and hamstrings focus in this class each week. So we'll continue with that today. And then maybe next month we'll have a different focus. If anyone has an idea of a focus area that they'd like me to center on, let me know. So I'm going to put another message in the chat window here with the Spotify playlist for our newcomer. And I don't know if it's Maralise. I know you corrected me last time on how to say your name, and I did not retain it. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. We're just doing a little grapevine warm up. And then in terms of props, we've got a ball, a light set of weights, and a chair. Let's just take 2 more, one to each side of your mat. Then grab that ball, squeeze it between your hands, put a nice hard squeeze in there. We're gonna march, take the knees up high, as wide as is needed or as wide as feels good. Sometimes you might even want to take a little rainbow. Open up those hips, but really put a strong squeeze on that ball. So you're activating your arms here, working the biceps as you squeeze into the ball, activating the abs here, really tightening up that core and using your core to help you pull your knees up higher and pull the thighs in closer to your chest. Point or flex your feet as you lift. Exhale, sharp, exhale. We're going to add on with a kick in 4, 3, last 2. Add that kick. Here we go. Kick it, kick it. It's a foot kick. Exhale as you kick. Try to take equal length inhales and exhales. Good. Flex or point the feet. Don't forget about putting a nice squeeze on your ball. You're trying to pop it. Adding on here, we're going to make it a twist. So you twist toward the side, the kicking leg side. If you want, you can take arms overhead or keep them right at center. Twisting side to side, activating the obliques a bit. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more right here. Hold on to that ball. Last 2 and 1. Squeeze on that ball. Calf raises. Feet are parallel, hip width distance apart. Lift and lower all the way up. If you can, maybe leave the heels just hovering off the ground at your low point rather than bringing them all the way down to rest on the floor. We're adding on here. It's a heel raise, a lift forward. Heel raise, lift your heel forward. Heel raise, lift your heel forward. Alternating the heel that lifts forward. Then add on, push the ball forward as your heel kicks forward. Good. Warming up those calves. Keeping the heart rate up, nothing too wild. We're going to get the heart rate up even higher again here with some larger movements. We've got side step squats coming up next. We'll drop that ball and grab our weights in just 4 more each side. Breathe. Last 3. Are those calves burning? Actually, we're going to take it into a hold at the top after our last set here. Hold high. Squeeze into that ball. Your heels are up as high as you can get them to go. From there, pulse up, up. Let's really burn out those calves here. Pulse it up, up, up. Little faster here. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, woo! 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Okay, maybe take a second here. Put those heels on the ground. Bend your knees forward. Get a little stretch there. Then as you're ready, find a nice easy stance, parallel feet, about hip width distance apart. Make sure you have plenty of room on both sides of you so you're in the middle of your space. We're going to start stepping wide with our right foot into a squat. Come back up to stand. Step wide, come back up to stand. If you want, you can change this out to your weights. Just add a little bit more here, or feel free to keep that ball, putting pressure on the ball, or maybe taking your arms out to, taking the ball out to the right side as you come down. So you can add on with the arms here as you wish. So now we're going to add on, we're going to take 2 steps to the right, then 2 steps to the left. Let's take 2 more to the right. 1, 2, now take it to the left. Why don't we hold there for a minute? Keep going left. And then we'll start our 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Full range, down and up, stepping really nice and wide. Think about your butt coming back and down. Weight in your heels, wiggle those toes. Keep your chest proud. Chest is up, shoulders are back and down, away from the ears, gaze is forward. Let's take 2 more. Last one now, take it to the right for 2 and 1. Take it to the left, 2, 1, take it right, 2. You can take this faster if you want. Left for 2 and 1, right for 2 and 1. Take it left, 2, 1, take it right, 2, 1, take it left, 2, 1. Keep moving. We're going to take 4 more full rounds. So that was 1 round right there. Here's our second one. Counting up to 4. We're on to 3. Here we go. 1 more time. Then you're going to pick either leg to keep wide after this last set. Might be natural to take the right leg out. Okay, let's start with just a little pulse right there. Might feel a little awkward a lot of times when we're holding a squat pulse. We're in a goddess pose here. Today we're keeping everything facing forward, feet are parallel, knees are tracking basically over the ankles. You want to keep them behind the toes, thinking about your butt coming back and down. We'll flat back, so if you're feeling any little curvature in that low back, think about pulling that belly button up and in. Slight little tuck of the pelvis, pulsing down. Arms at heart center. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold low. Get as low as you can. Come up tall, arms overhead. Get down, get up, down, and up. Let's find a nice beat here. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Really pump those arms. When your arms come up overhead, I want all of the bend coming out of your elbows. Squeeze those biceps in by your sides. Palms face each other. We'll take 8 more full range. Then we're going to take the bottom half. I'll show you what that looks like. You're going to hold your low point in another 4. Here's 3. Last 2. And 1. Hold your low point. Watch me. It looks like this. We take our weights down to the floor, back to heart center, down to the floor, back to heart center. Join me as you're ready. Your butt is dipping really nice and low. Again, you're thinking about keeping those knees behind your toes, getting your butt really nice and low, keeping your chest up here. Even here with all that hinge in the hips, our torso is getting low, but we're thinking about a proud chest rather than that sort of cat back, letting things round or drooping your shoulders forward. Keep them broad. Keep your chest nice and open. 8 more. I know it burns. 7, 6, 5, just 4 more. 3, stand tall. Into last 1. Come over to one side of your mat. Take your weights to heart center or arms out to your T. We're sashaying with a toe tap. Sashay, take a toe tap. Similar to that grapevine that we started out with. You can take arms out wide for your sashay. Bring them into heart center for your back toe tap. Breathe. Last little thing here. We're going to take ourselves into a nice little yoga flow. Super active yoga flow. Really firing on the glutes and the hamstrings. Good. Each way, 2 more times. Last time each way. Good. Take your weights down on the side of your mat. And I want you to set up your chair with the seat of your chair facing the top of your mat. And I want you to walk to the back of your mat. Grab some water if you want. Your ball is just off to the side for now. So we're all in the back of our space. We have our weights nearby on the floor and our chair facing us at the top of the mat. Take your arms up overhead, reach tall. Maybe take a side body stretch one direction, and then the other. Let that feel good. As you're ready, swan dive or take hands through heart center into your forward fold. Take a moment here in your ragdoll pose. Maybe grab onto opposite elbows. Maybe sway a little bit side to side, forward and back. Switch out your grip. Then as you're ready, take your hands to the floor, walk your hands out into a high plank pose. So make sure your head isn't gonna hit your chair, adjust your space if you need to. Now from here, we're gonna come from a high plank pose to a downward facing dog. Let's hold it there for a moment. This is our first down dog. Maybe you want a second to pedal it out. But then pretty quickly here, we're gonna transition to stillness in our down dog, move from there into your high plank pose, right back to downward facing dog. It's a combo move. Try to smooth this out instead of feeling like you're stopping in one pose and the other. As soon as you get to plank, right away, you're transitioning to that down dog and vice versa. On my cue, we're gonna stop in our downward facing dog. Let's take 4 more right here. Breathe, last 3. Neck is long, core is engaged. Take 1 more. Meet me in downward facing dog. Then take your right leg high, 3-legged dog. Right foot comes between your hands for a low lunge. Let's take a moment here in our low lunge and just settle in. Really get into that hip flexor. Maybe take a little rock on the back toes. Maybe it feels really good to straighten and bend your front leg. Just 4 more right there. Then hold in your low lunge after 2. Last 1, hold that low lunge. This is a big movement. Turn your head toward the screen and watch me if you want to first. We're launching from our low lunge to a standing position with a leg lift to the back. You want to keep your knee facing down rather than opening up your hip to the side as you come to stand. Then you're lowering right back down to your low lunge. Come to stand, leg, lift that leg. Maybe your arms come a little bit behind you, almost like a baby airplane. Back down to your low lunge, right back up to stand. Let's sync up. Everyone in your low lunge, launch, stand tall with a back leg lift. Back down to your low lunge, stand up. Get low, grow tall. Get low, grow tall. You got this. I know it's a big movement. It's not one we commonly do in barre. It's challenging. You have the seat of your chair right there. So if the balance challenge here is too much for you, grab onto that. Grab onto your chair. Good. Let's take 4 more. We're holding at the top after 3. Last 2. Hold at the top. As you're ready, we're taking our lifted back leg, carrying it forward for a figure 4. I'm going to turn to face you. You can stay where you are. So you're crossing the ankle over the rooted leg thigh. From there, you can take hands to heart center. We're going to take a one-legged squat in our figure 4. You can come all the way up to stand. Try not to lock out that knee. Keep a little standing bend in the rooted leg the whole time. Or you can make it a smaller range of motion. Maybe just a few inches up and a few inches down. Get as low as you can on your downbeat. Breathe. Let's sync up here. We're all going to make the movement a little smaller and move a little faster. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold low. As you're ready, take your hands to the ground. Step your foot back. Walk into a high plank pose. Everybody meet up in your high plank. We're opening up to a side plank pose with our right hand down, left hand up. You can stack your feet, stagger your feet, take your bottom knee down to the ground. Choose what feels good for you. Wherever you are, we're taking an air jack. Okay, so it's like a one-sided jumping jack on the floor. You can take that from any of those stances, feet staggered, stacked, or bottom knee on the ground. Good. Keep breathing here. Really lift up. Create more space between the mat and your bottom hip, between the mat and your armpit. Just 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4 more. 3, last 2. And 1, return to your high plank pose. I'm going to switch directions. You can stay where you are. So we're in our high plank. We're coming from there into our downward facing dog. Let's make this active again. High plank, down dog. High plank, down dog. Good. Nice. Just 4 more. We're holding in our down dog. Last 2. And 1, hold that down dog. Take your left leg high in your 3-legged dog this time. Then left foot comes in through your hands, low lunge. Let's settle into that low lunge here. Maybe take that little rock forward and back. If it feels good for you, you're gonna straighten and bend the front leg. Any amount, you don't have to get that front leg all the way straight. Straighten it as much as feels good for you. Just 4 more. We're holding the low lunge. Into last 1, hold there. Now, you know what this move looks like. We did it on the other side. It's a big movement. We kind of launch out of this low lunge and come to stand, lifting that back leg. The back right leg has the knee facing down to the ground. Avoid opening up the hip. Okay, your arms are coming down, fingertips tenting on the floor, and then your hands lift up behind your booty as you come to stand. You're finding a point to gaze, drishti, a point to look at that helps you keep your balance. Maybe 3 or 4 feet in front of you on the floor would be a good place. Woo! We're gonna hold at the top after just 4 more. 3 more. Last 2. Hold at the top. On 1, hold right there, find your balance. As you're ready, we're transitioning into that figure 4, swinging your back leg to the front, crossing the ankle over the opposite thigh, taking hands to heart center or out wide. Whatever feels good for you, we're coming into that one-legged squat in our figure 4 position. So you can take this full range, coming all the way to stand, and then back into that deep figure 4 stretch, or make it a smaller range of motion. We're all going to tighten up that range of motion and increase our speed on my cue, but continue at your own range and your own pace for now. Good. We'll speed it up in 4. Last 2. And 1. Everyone make it small, make it fast. Here we go. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Releasing back down to the floor, stepping into your high plank pose. This time from our high plank, we're coming all the way down to our belly. So chaturanga here, bend the arms, get all the way down to your mat. Good. Roll over to one side. You can grab one or both weights if you want here. We're doing sideline leg lifts. So if you take the weights, it's going to go on top of your top leg. We're cradling our head in our hand. It doesn't matter which side you're on. We're going to take both. We have a bend in the bottom knee, and then your top leg is coming right out in line with your torso to start. Your weights are on top of the side of the thigh. Flex or point your toes of that top leg. Good. Now from here, I want you to take your leg just slightly behind that center point, okay? When I say center line in this exercise sequence, I mean the point where your leg is directly in line with your torso. So you're taking it a little bit back, a little bit behind that center line. Hold it there. Now lift and lower. Up and down, up and down. Keep that bottom knee pressing into the mat, okay? Avoid letting that butterfly up, put weight or imaginary pressure on that resting knee. This is a small range of motion. It doesn't need to be really big. If you make it really big, what tends to happen is you'll start to use momentum when we want to keep this really focused on strength building. So range of motion is not important in terms of making it big. We want to keep it in a controlled range, whatever that looks like for you. Exhale as you lift. Keep that foot flexed. Lift, 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 and lift. We're here for 8, 7. We'll hold high in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hold it high. I want you to think about internal rotation. So your flexed toes are kind of coming to point down. Your thigh is rotating internally. Now from there, we're going to do the same lift and lower. It should feel a little bit different with that internal rotation turned on. Your weights might want to kind of fall down, slip toward the floor. You have to hold them onto your thigh here because your top of your thigh, or what was the top of your thigh when we started, is now at a slant after we've done that rotation. Remember, we want to keep the entire leg, the bottom leg, glued to the mat. So that means the foot, the ankle, the calf, the knee, the thigh, keep it all pressed down into the mat. Exhale as you lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold high. Release that rotation. Okay, so you're coming back to where you started rather than having the internal rotation. Come forward of your center line. Now we're in front of our torso. Lift and lower. Up, up, lift, lift. Remember, it's a small range of motion, slow and controlled. Don't forget about your core here. It may not feel like you need your core, but if you fire it on, you're going to feel such a big difference in the exercise. So think about belly button to spine, stabilizing yourself. Lift, up, 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 and up. Just take 8 more. 7, 6, 5. Hold high in 4. Last 3 and 2. Hold it up. Now take your leg into center line. It's in line with your torso. This is our last position. We lift and lower. Up, up, lift. You can find your own beat, your own pace. We're going from one song to the next in our playlist. I'm going to play around with a little bit of a faster tempo here. Lift, lift. Join me if you want in a faster beat. Up, up, lift, lift. You've got it. We're just hanging out here. About another 8 count. Then we're adding hamstring curls and moving on. We're for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up. Take your hamstring curl. So you're keeping your foot flexed. Your heel is coming in toward your seat. and release long. As you release, take all the bend out of your knee. Activate your quad to really straighten out the leg. Your glute should be burning. Breathe. Bend, extend, flex, hard in the foot. Don't forget about your core. Breathe. You're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, just 3 more. Here's 2 and 1. Good. Okay, we're gonna come up, drop your weights down, bring them back where you had them before, just kind of in front of the side of your mat. We're gonna take a seated figure 4 stretch here. So the top leg is the one that's coming up and over, getting a nice stretch in that hip and booty. I always like to think about the lifted knee, pressing that forward in space, bringing my butt a little closer to the rooted heel. Breathe, just another big breath in, big breath out. We'll come back and get some more stretches later. We're coming to glutes, bridge glutes. So we're gonna get close to our chair because eventually we're gonna come and put our heels or our feet on the seat of our chair. So keep that in mind. Set yourself up pretty close to your chair. Come all the way down onto your back. You can take your hands at your sides. We're starting with both feet planted, lifting the booty up and down, full range. So your feet are parallel. Your knees are in line with your feet, lifting all the way up and all the way down to a hover. Don't let your butt rest and squish into the floor as you release. Keep it just a tiny little bit off the mat at your lowest point. Lift, lower, lift, lower. 8 more here, then we add on. 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, hold high on 1, hold the hips up, take your left foot high, toes point toward the ceiling. From there, lift, lower, or excuse me, down, up, down, and lift. It's dramatically higher with only, or excuse me, dramatically harder with only 1 foot planted. I know, it burns. Point the lifted foot. Keep that leg completely straight as you can. Again, we're activating the quad to keep the leg straight. Just 4 more, you can do this. Last 3, 2, and 1. Release your left foot down. Take those hips up high. Lift your right foot up now, pointing your right foot toward the sky. Down and up, down and up. One-legged bridge glutes. Super challenging. You're doing great. Any range of motion here is a good range. This can be 1 inch down and up. Maybe it's a little bigger. Maybe you just need to take both feet down. That's great. That's fine. If you can keep your right leg lifted, we're going to stay there for another 4. Just 3 more. Last 2 and 1. Good. Take both feet down. Scoot your body as close as you need to your chair to accommodate putting your feet up on the chair. So your heels are on the seat of your chair. Now we take our butt up and down. Works well for me to take the arches of my feet to the front edge of the seat of my chair. But it works fine to just have your heels right on the seat of the chair too. So again, we're hovering the butt off the mat at our low point, getting those hips really as high as you can, really firing on those glutes. Sometimes I like to take my hands to my glutes and feel them firing on at the highest point, just to sort of test myself. Am I really giving it all I got? Up, lift. You've got this. 8 more. 7, 6, 5. You've got it. 2 more. Then we break. Grab a sip of water. Drop your booty down, feet off of that chair. Come up to a seat for some water before we come into our sideline leg lifts on the second side. All right. So you know where we're headed. Kind of that mermaid pose. We're doing the opposite side this time. Oh, let's see. Whoops, I need to flip over. Opposite side. Cradle your head in your hand, bend the bottom knee, top leg is straight out from your torso to start. You're taking your weights on top of that thigh if you want. Now, flex your lifted foot. Carry that leg just a little bit behind your center line. That's where we start with our lift and lower. Any range of motion is good as long as you feel really in control. If you're making it really big and you're feeling your bottom hip point really grind into the mat as you lift your legs super high, it's a little bit too much. Tone it down just a bit. See how you feel if you tighten up that range of motion. Really think about that. Flex on the foot, straight leg, taking all the bend out of the knee. Remember, you're just behind that center line. So your leg's a little bit behind you. It helps to take a glance back there and look and see as you lift your foot up. Is it kind of behind your butt? It should be. We haven't turned on that internal rotation yet. So as it stands right now, your knee is facing straight out rather than down. Up, up, lift, lift, lift. 8. We hold high. 6, 5, 4, 3. Last 2, hold it up. Now take that internal rotation. Your toes are coming to point slightly down. Your thigh is rotating inward toward the bottom leg. Lift and lower, up, up. Remember, the leg is still behind your center line. All we're doing is adding that rotation. Keep that strong flex in the foot. Lift, lift, up, up. Woo! We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift it high. Turn off that rotation. Come back to where you started. Now take your leg in front of center line. Lift and lower. Lift, lift, up, up. Make it fluid. Don't stop at the top or the bottom. Make it one fluid range of motion. Good. Can you press that bottom knee, thigh, calf, ankle into the floor or mat? Come to your core now. Think about taking your belly button in toward your spine. Down, up, lift, lift, just 8 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold high. Take the leg in line with center. Center line, lift and lower. Up, up, lift, lift. This is our last little part. We just have our hamstring curls. Then we're releasing and taking our nice figure 4 stretch. Lift, lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it high, hamstring curl. That flex in the foot is strong. It's the heel of your foot that's coming in toward your seat. As you're taking this movement, I want you to make sure that your thigh isn't moving, okay? There may be a tendency for that thigh to come behind you, or maybe even in front of you as you take your hamstring curl. You want to keep it right in line with your torso. The only thing moving is the calf and the foot as your heel comes in toward your seat, and then you really extend, taking all the bend out of that top leg, firing on the quad. Just 8 more right here. 6, 4 more. This is it. Hold it up high. Last 2 and 1. Release. Push yourself up to a seated position. We're taking that figure 4. The top leg or the working leg is the one that's crossing over. Ooh, this figure 4 is painful. Flexing that foot, pushing the lifted knee forward in space as you bring your booty closer toward the rooted heel. Hold and breathe. 1 or 2 more breaths there. As you're ready, release the stretch. Come to stand. We're going to use our bar. This time we're using the back of our chair. I'm going to set it up in front of me. You can do the same. So you're facing the screen. You have your bar in front of you. We're coming into a goddess pose. Okay, so grab your water if you need to. Join me as you're ready. Heels in, toes out, deep bend in our knees for our goddess pose. Adjust your feet or your stance as you need to so that your knees are right over your ankles here. Really nice tuck of the pelvis so that as you're standing here, you can feel your head is right over your pelvis. Thinking about belly button to spine. We're going to take some standing abs here. We're starting with thinking about our shoulders coming forward and down. Just that top part of our body is moving. So we have our hands light grip on the bar to stabilize us here. We're tucking the chin, looking down at the mat as we crunch forward. And this is the one time in a bar class where I actually do want you to let your shoulders hunch forward for this crunch. The crunch is coming from the top part of your body here. Next thing we're going to do is take the crunch from the opposite direction. So the crunch is going to come from the pelvis instead of from the head and shoulders, top part of your torso. Let's take just 4 more here. 3, last 2, and 1. Now full range in the legs just to give those legs a little rest. 4 more right there, full range. We're going to hold at our low point into last 1. Hold your low point. Now tuck that pelvis, forward and up, forward and up, using your abs here to get that tuck. Firing on your glutes as well to make the motion bigger, but really focusing on the abs here. This is standing ab work. Exhale. You can take this as slow or as fast as feels good in your body. I want to challenge you to take it a little faster. Let's all go. Crunch, 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 crunch. Good. Just 8 more. 4 more. And 1. Good. Come to your low goddess squat, then reach overhead. So you're reaching from side to side, alternating the side that you're reaching toward. Full bend and straighten in the legs. Oblique work as we take our side stretch, side reach. Each time we come to stand. Taking the arm overhead. Making it a little bigger next time. Can you reach a little further? Yes, you can. Good. We're going to hold steady in our goddess pose on my cue. Take another 2 in each direction. Last 1. Hold your goddess pose. From there, maybe take your feet in just a little bit. We're going to pulse down, take right knee to right elbow, pulse down, right knee to right elbow. If you know, hey, I don't need that chair here, and it's actually better for me to take my hand to my hip or out to a T or arms overhead, you can take any of those options. Sometimes it's just nice to have the bar there for support. Doesn't hurt. Good. 4 more right there. Holding low in your goddess. Into last 1. Take that crunch from the top again. So we're coming back to the top of this set. Repeating. You may find yourself wanting to take that pelvic thrust here too. But I want you to really focus on isolating the top part of your abdomen. Let the work come from your shoulders coming forward and down. Good. We'll add on with that second part, working from the bottom half in 4. Last 2 and 1. Now make it a pelvic tuck, working those abs, working your glutes, working your inner thighs, really thinking about focusing on the abs though. Thrust, thrust, abs are crunching, crunch, crunch. Exhale as you crunch here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold low. We get low on the legs. Take that overhead reach. Alternating the sides that you're reaching toward. Good. Let this feel good. We're going to get low on our goddess. One more time. Take 2 more each direction. Last one. Hold low in your goddess. Again, you can shorten up that stance a little bit if you want. Let go of the bar if you want. We're pulsing down and taking left knee to left elbow. Second side. Good. We've been cruising through class. It's already 12:41. We'll finish up this set and take some more lovely stretches, and you'll be on with your day. Good, just 4 more. Last 3, 2. Bring your hands to the bar. Full range down and up with support. 4 more, 3 more, last 2, and 1. Good, take your bar or your chair out of the way. Let's grab one more quick sip of water here. And as you're ready, meet me in a wide stance, parallel feet. So soles or insides of your feet are right in line with each other. Take your arms out wide, reach side to side. A little active recovery here. Reach, reach. Holding in your center point in 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Wide forward fold. Take it down to the floor. Gaze comes between your legs. Let that head hang heavy. Maybe take your hands to your ankles. Fold more deeply here. Pulling your torso and your legs closer to one another. Specifically, your torso closer to your legs. Take your hands, walk them over to one foot. Hold it right there. Let it feel good. And walk your hands over to your second side. Again, let your head be heavy here. Good. From that side, whichever one you're on, pivot into your low lunge. Take an easy twist. So plant the hand on the inside of your foot. Lift the other hand up high. Twist. Maybe take an arm circle. And release. Drop down to the back knee, half splits pose, flexing the front foot. Hinge at the hips, fold deeply, flex the front foot. Get a little deeper here. As you're ready, you're coming back to your low lunge, moving into a half pigeon. Toe heeling the foot over to the side, dropping your front knee down. Shin is parallel to the top of your mat. Let your torso get closer to the mat. Avoiding or resisting the urge to fall onto your butt cheek, and instead trying to keep your hips square, keeping the back knee facing down and kissing the mat. Hold for another deep breath in, deep breath out. As you're ready, come back up to your low lunge. Step into your high plank pose. We're switching it out to our second side, low lunge, opening it up to that easy twist. Maybe you're taking your big arm circle, releasing the twist, dropping down to your back knee, half splits pose, flexing the front foot, hinging at the hips, letting your torso fold forward, getting a little closer to the bottom leg. On your exhale, feeling yourself melt in closer to the floor. As you're ready, you're releasing forward to your low lunge and moving right away into your half splits pose, toe heeling your foot over to the side, dropping your knee, keeping your hips square as you bring your top half closer to the mat. This is our last little move. Stay with me if you can. We're going to close out class in just a moment. Hold right here for another 3 deep inhales and exhales. Inhale, exhale, one more time. Ah, good. Release out of that half pigeon pose, and however you want to get there, make your way to a comfortable seat. Take hands to heart center, maybe close down the eyelids, and just for a moment here, find some gratitude for this time. I'm so glad you made it here and found this time to do something so good for your mind and for your body, and I'm so grateful that you allowed me to guide you through this class. Namaste, fit friends. Thanks for being here. Have a great